Uncle Potsquatch here. You know, it's been a hot minute. I know. What's up, buddy? Jeff Newman. I believe you're probably chug-a-lug there, is my assumption. Um, Sorry it's been a long, long time. I actually don't expect anyone to, tune in for this. I mean, it's a weird time. It's 6:45 p.m. on Vancouver time. And, a lot of people probably have moved on and doing their own things, and I haven't been around in a long time. And I mean, it's been way too hot here for me to run a grow. Didn't have a AC this year. You know, the old ACs that we used sort of the previous summer had kind of burnt out, so we got rid of that. And what's up? What's up, Brian? What's up, Jeff Newman? What's up, Troy Shepard? Good to see you, buddy. So we didn't run a grow throughout the summer. Kind of the last one we did was that. Was it the horizontal weird grow, or was it the? Feel like it was that one. I think that was the last one we did. But anyway, it's been a hot minute, you know what I mean? But it's chilly now here in Canada, you know what I'm saying? It's starting to get cold again. So it's like Uncle Potsquatch can run some weed titties without having AC on. So that we're going to get that fired up. I have decided what we're going to be growing next. There was a strain. What's up, Pilgore? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, James? What's up, Tony Gilbert? What's up? We have decided what we're going to be running next. So basically, there was a strain that we did on the channel many, many moons ago, okay? It was called Gorilla Blue. I don't know. Who here remembers the Gorilla Blue? The Gorilla Blue was created by a very dear friend of mine named Christina. She has had a plethora of health issues, abusive partners, and a lot of crap. So she's been through the ringer and back. She developed this strain. I'm trying to remember now what went into it. It was a blueberry by shit, I can't even fully remember now. Blueberry by something by being reintroduced at DJ Short's Blueberry Indica. And it had to be one of the funkiest, coolest, honest to God, interesting strains that I've seen anyone create in a long time. Everything is cookies this or cookies that, or it runs this or runs that, aka boring new age marijuana, okay? Fuck cookie-based strains, okay, man? Screw runts, screw sherbets, screw this and all of that, and all of these little fancy, weird new age strains. I'm not a fan. I've never liked almost any of them. Yeah, some of them have good numbers, but they're not that good, you know? They're not that good. I think they're overrated. I think they're over you know what I'm saying? 1 second here. Give me a second here. Let me just read everybody's shit here. 1 second here. Okay, let me read. I'm missing shit here. Okay, what's up, man? What's up, Kenneth Arnox? Yes, I am not dead. I am not dead, everybody. What's up, M44411? Good evening to you, and good morning to you as well at 2:45 a.m. over in the UK. What's happening? Boy, are you sure? You sure look different without the beard. I had to shave the beard off the other day for an audition, everybody. It was a thing. James Mercer says, had a tough battle with PM this year. Any suggestions? Well, I mean, preventative ones for next season for sure. Once PM hits your plants, there's not a lot you can do, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Jorge Cervantes says, you can do hydrogen peroxide wash and get rid of it. Bullshit. I mean, it just takes off the exterior stuff, but it's still deep seated into your plant. Pretty much one of the only things you can actually do to remove mold, bud rot, PM, these types of things is run it through a very high-end distillate machine, the likes of which costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. So really, at the end of the day, as horrible as I feel admitting the truth to you, just trash that shit. But for next year, keeping air movement, keeping pruning up so you can have air movement throughout your plant, having a scrim if you're getting a lot of heavy rain, watching moisture levels, treating with a product like Jake's All-in-One as a preventative while you're going into flower anyway. You can technically use it in flower. I mean, try to avoid it if you can. So next season, preventative shit for sure. But man, let me keep saying hi to people. What's up, Alien Garden Genetics? Good to see you, my friend. Cheers without beers to you as well. Well, I have a beer, actually. So cheers with a beer to the no beer. Cheers. Yes. Tony Gilbert says it's starting to not be fun outside already. I mean, I like this time of the year. I like when it's cold. I hate the heat personally. So, yeah. Yeah, Tony. I mean, I like the Christmas lights. I got a weird light there installed too in the house there. It's a good time. What's up, that guy channel 2? Good to see you, buddy. Sorry, everybody. I'm just reading here. Tony Gilbert, is there a way to make ice that won't melt? I'm sick of it raising the water. Well, no, ice melts, man. That's just kind of a way of how it works. Honestly, what I would do is I would actually try to see if I could find a way to build a bong with a cooling coil that I install into the glass or around the exterior of the glass, and that would basically function the same way. Yeah. See, yeah, Pilgor says trash it too. Exactly. View message held for review. Jeff Newman, C4W. No, show that. That's not bad. Show it. There we go. Oh, yeah. No, show it. Oh, someone handled it for me. Thank you. Squatch could literally be the Leslie Nielsen of today. Imagine the Squatch personality and weed style in a comedy. No, I mean, it would be funny. I mean, I by and large consider myself a comedic actor or a character actor as an actor. That's always how I viewed myself in things. And, the first feature is still coming up, probably shooting that in February, March. And it's a dark film, and I play like a really evil person. Sadly, like typically that's what I get these days. Like bad guy, evil white dude, evil bad white man. That's the thing. And I mean, hey, a job's a job, but it's more fun playing the bad guy anyway, right? So you know what I'm saying. Yeah. James Mercer says I'm going to be running Banana Jealousy from Seedsman. Going to be my winter run. Hell yeah, buddy. Tony Gilbert says, "Oh, bro, I could put something on it so the ice doesn't melt. Doesn't melt. Good idea. I mean, well, the ice is always going to melt, man. I mean, ice melts. There ain't no such thing as heatable ice, if you know what I'm saying. It becomes water, but like a coolant coil installed in somewhere into the bong would be how I would go about designing that. Um, oh, Tony Gilbert, I'm white, I'm bald, it's a thing. That's evil white guy's okay. I don't mind playing the bad guy. I get basically like bad dude, biker, biker demon, Viking, and dad. That's kind of like my go-to for casting directors, it seems. But it is what it is, man. Yeah. But anyway, let's get back to talking about the weed titties. So we're gonna be bringing back Gorilla Blue. So I don't know if any of you. Tony Gilbert says, I'm black and bald. Laugh out loud. I just saved yesterday. You know what? I honestly think, what I'm saying? Like, I'm envious of bald black men sometimes because it's like, I think you could be bald and black and not look scary. But like the second you bald and white, you're either like just a skinhead and people assume you're some neo-Nazi or some shit. It's like, no, man, I just have a sensitivity to DHT, man. I went bald. Or you just look scarier, I think. You know what I mean? Like, Potsquatch with hair, I don't know, man. I was like, I was still an intimidating big white dude, but like, I don't know, man. I was like watching the news, they were all, talking about sports the other day and all the bald black dudes. And I'm like, damn, I think being bald and black is less threatening than being bald and white. And I'm just being honest about it, watching the shows, you know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, man. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, white bald dudes are weird unless you're Picard. Basically, I can agree, I can get behind that statement, Tony. I can definitely get behind that statement. But back to the weed titties that we're going to be running. Okay, so the Gorilla Blue was a strain that she made a bajillion years ago. We ran it on the channel a bunch. I sent it out to a bunch of you to grow even. And it has to be one of the dankest, weirdest, most stable on its own strain. So like every pheno structurally is very similar, but the differentiation between the phenotypes, like the smells and the taste that these weed titties can produce, is redonkulous, man. There we go. And so it has so many terms. Like some of them, like there's ones that came out that smell like kind of like almost cat piss. Some of them smell kind of like this funky blueberry. There's a lot of different weird notes and smells to this strain. But so here's the fun thing. So my friend Christina, she said, I mean, I still have the beans. So like, I mean, she said she's going to send me the rest of the beans she had from when she did the breeding experiment. This is probably 6 to 8, 10 years ago. Like these are not young beans, okay? But she said, if I make a fresh batch of these beans and send a bunch of them to her, She'll send me the rest of what she has. I'm going to get it going with what I have still left on hand, but she's also granted me the rights to actually produce seed and sell the strain. She's never going to do it. It's her work, but I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to start stabilizing it out. I mean, obviously, we'll do an F2 run on it, which is what this would be with the next run. So, and then I'll probably do some more because I think there's a lot of potential in this strain. Everyone I know who's grown it and tried it was like, fuck, man, this weed is weird, but good. Like, it's different. And it's so different than almost anything out there that I really think we have a winner on our hands. Not just in terms of like its dankability or how much you will all enjoy it when you get a chance to try it, but also I think it'll be a really good genetic to put on the store and bring out for everybody. So I'm going to get that rocking. I'm going to go talk to my buddy Sean in my building here. I'm going to be like, yo, man, can I put a 2x2 tent and make some plants fuck in your apartment? We'll see if Sean, I mean, I'll give him free weed. So, I mean, hopefully he'd be down. What's up, Soul Price? Been a hot minute, man. Good to see you, man. One second. Yo, Roman Reckless, buddy. Good to see you, man. How you doing, man? Good to see you. No, it's a bunch of people giving me a hard time, and I've just been so super tired. I work all that damn time. I mean, like I'm working over 40 hours a week. 40 minutes to an hour and a half, 2 hour commute on either side of my day. Some weeks I'm like doing weird things. Like, so like I'm the roaming maintenance technician for the company I work for. I'm the auxiliary building services manager. So I run the buildings when their BSMs leave. I'm running a building in North Van right now. I'm also the fleet manager for their vehicles. So I got a fleet of like 25 Mercedes R350s. I've got Sprinter vans. I've got Chevrolet Express buses. I've got smart cars and a bunch of other stupid cars. And basically nobody took care of this fleet for like over a decade. So I've been slowly but surely spending shitloads of money and fixing up their cars. But so sometimes though, anytime one comes on the market, that's sort of a good price, right? So they send Uncle Potsquatch. So like the other day I had to fly into Calgary, man. So I was like at the airport at 5 a.m. going through airport security. I sat there. Boarding was at 6:20. I touched down in Alberta at 9:30ish. I had to head across Calgary. I went and checked out this car, inspected the car, bought the car, got a permit to transport an unregistered vehicle in between provinces. And then I proceeded to drive from Calgary to Kelowna, which I crashed there and then switched to another car that I was bringing back down to Van City to live at one of our buildings here. And like, it's just crazy. And it's like, I think I'm still fucking recovering in terms of just sort of the energy drain from all of that. But yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Jeff Newman, dude. Like, you can go back and watch a bunch of the old school runs of this. When was I consistently running the Gorilla Blue? I feel like we may have run it like right at the beginning of the channel. That's a potential, but we definitely ran it at what I called Laboratory 2, which was the first little trailer manufactured home that Dottie and I bought. Definitely was running it there a bunch of times too. But we're gonna bring it back, man. We're gonna bring that shit back. Oh, the pepper weed, I remember that shit too. That shit was weird, man. It was good times though. But that Gorilla Blue, though, we're going to get that rocking again, and then we're going to find a nice male and a nice girl, and we're just going to make them fuck. We're going to make some new beans, and those are going to go in the store for everybody as well, and then I'll send some down to the States there for my sister and shit, and it'll be good, you know what I'm saying? Yeti Mountain Training says, hi. What's up, Yeti Mountain Training? Good to see you, my friend. All right. Homegrow 4201. That sounds great. Hell yeah. James Mercer says those purple lights. Huh? Or do you mean like my little Christmas lights? Or James, oh, in the closet? Yeah, no, yeah, we may have run it in the blurples too, back in the hood days, man. Fuck, it feels like so long ago, those blurple lights. I had hair back then. I still have hair. I've just gotten bald in the front, you know what I'm saying? I have been using that. Has anyone seen that Spartan shampoo? I mean, I was pretty bald in the front. But I will say it does kind of work. Like, I mean, I got hair growing in the front of my head that wasn't there before. Will it ever mature to a full, thick head of hair? We will see. Am I worried about being bald? Not really, but I do like scientific experiment. And I'm definitely willing to sort of experiment on myself, right? So I've been playing with that, Spartan shit, and we'll see if it works, you know what I'm saying? But, man, we're going to be bringing back the Gorilla Blue, and it's going to be available on the store once we get that seed run done. So that'll be like the first new seed thing that we've done for everybody, and that'll be pretty fun, I think, too. and I do apologize. I've just been so busy. I've been so tired. Like I was exhausted. Like today, I was coming back. I went and watched the Blue Jays lose game two again. Fucking Christ. Against the Mariners. We should be beating the Mariners. Like anyway, but we'll hopefully come back in game three. But I was so tired. But then who remembers Chug-a-Lug or Sir Chugs-a-Lot? He's been texting me and shit, asking me questions, and he was just like, "Oh, I miss you, man. It's been so long. Everybody misses you." And there's been a few people messaging me like, "Yo, what the fuck, bro?" So I was like, "Okay, man. For all y'all who've been well bitching at my ass, I will do a small live stream tonight to kind of get back into the flow because I think the hardest thing too is like when you take a break on YouTube is kind of like getting back out there and do a show, get one in the bag, even if it's just a basic show, you know what I'm saying? And then kind of get that going and kind of go from there. Ooh. Oh, Jeff Newman says, I'm Sir Chugs-a-Lot. Okay, cool. So everybody, Jeff Newman, Sir Chugs-a-Lot, back in the day in the channel, was bitching at my ass. And I was like, oh, man, he's saying a lot of nice things, too. And I was like, okay, man. I was going to come home, and then I was like, you know what, screw it. I'll go to the liquor store. I'll grab a six-pack or something like that. And I'll come home. I'll do a show for a bit and see how long I can go and how long I can keep my brain functioning. But we are going to get those beans. I meant to get them popped on my last days off, but then things changed. Then I had to fly out of town and go do that car thing and drive in between, different like provinces and shit and like take care of business. So I have not yet popped them, but I will be popping them. Right now, my apartment's quite chilly. So I'm actually going to close the windows tonight. I haven't actually turned on the heat yet because I like it cold. But as we all remember, the actual optimal temperature for most cannabis, especially when it comes to, excuse me, I just ate dinner, so my stomach's quite full at the moment. Germinating our seeds, running our little seedlings, keeping them safe is give or take around 23 degrees centigrade. So I'm going to get the apartment up to like 22, 23 ambient, close all the windows, turn the heat on, which will then put us in a perfect place for those little baby seeds. Because again, like I said, these are pretty old beans we're going to be popping. These are pretty old beans. And Ivan 5180, what's up? The way you say ooh, are you Ivan Dangle? I don't think you are. I think you're a different Ivan. But he says ooh like that a lot when we chat online. But anyway, we're going to get that. No, that's all good. No, it is you? No, that's good, man. Okay, it is you. Okay. Yeah, no, everybody, Ivan 5180 is the husband slash, well, widower. I'm sorry, Ivan, I'm just going to be honest with people. Who remembers the Quiet Witch? You remember the Quiet Witch? Our dear friend who eventually lost her battle to cancer. This is her husband right here. And I'm just used to him being called Ivan Daigle or some shit on here, or Ivan something. But anyway, this is Ivan, everybody. He's back. He's not dead. His wife dead, but he's not dead. And he's been battling in that battle. He's actually been excited to kind of get the grow going again. He's going to be growing some weed too. Maybe we'll send him some beans to, grow up and get his weed titties growing again. Ivan and I met before I even started this channel. So Ivan knows me longer than I've been Potsquatch publicly. We met on an online weed growing group. And that's how me and Ivan first became friends. The first rosin I ever made for somebody was for him too. I bought a weird press that was not in fact a rosin press, but was in fact a like t-shirt branding, like for putting like t-shirt graphics on press that was then marketed. Betty, go sit. Don't be a bad girl. Go lie down on the couch. For making t-shirts and shit. And that is actually basically some of the first rosin I ever made. I sent it to him because he was all like, "I want to try it." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I actually think I may have bought that machine to make rosin for Ivan. Actually, to be fair, I mean this is a long time ago now. I was like, oh, "Fuck, man." Give or take like 10 years ago now. But yeah. 1 second here. I think I missed something. Bear with me here. I'm reading here. Oh no, and that's why I mean that's why like we've never charged. Like we did have memberships for a while when we were allowed into the YouTube monetization program. I resisted for years to do the monetization. Because Potsquatch Growers was started as a passion piece to help people grow and to empower people. Information should be free. I thought about how hard it was for me to be a self-taught grower as a kid back in the hood days, and all the misinformation then, let alone all the misinformation now. And then, like, I mean, look at all the Tweedledink doorknobs now on YouTube and in general in the cannabis community. There's a lot of them. Not saying everybody's like that, but a lot of them are just fucking twats. And it's like, so that's why I started the channel, though, was to try to, at least add my humble 2 cents on growing, so that there was something there where people could trust and begin to experiment and have a safe place where they could ask questions and learn and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest though, these days, like with the cost of everything and how expensive the world is, man, like I wish I could make my paycheck off of this. If I could make my paycheck off of being Potsquatch, guys, you would have me 24/7 making content, doing grows all the time. But sadly, that's not the case, man. So here I am. But like I said, I never go anywhere. I never disappear. But I'm always around. I've just been working my duff off and really tired and sleepy most of the time. I get off, I wake up super early in the morning. I come home, I walk the dogs, I tidy a bit, I eat dinner, I have a couple beers, and then I go to bed and I repeat, you know what I'm saying? And then most of the goddamn time, I got days off. I just want to sleep, man. I'm just reading here. Bear with me, everybody. Hell yeah, Ivan. Yeah, that one, I think I made that one predominantly out of a crap ton of pink Kush Keef, I believe. And then I threw a few other things in there for fun. What's up, JC Smith, man? Good to see you, man. No, 100% Roman Reckless. It was crazy. The cut that YouTube would take when people would make donations on the channel was ridiculous. Do I have a Patreon? I technically started a Patreon, but I never really got it, so I never really did anything with it. I mean, I guess it technically still exists, I guess. But I never really fully understood the Patreon thing either. I get its premise, but that's it. Ivan's like, I need to start ordering all the bulk again so you can make money. There was a point in time where Ivan definitely was a considerable chunk of my income as the pot squatch. That is true, Ivan. That is very true. Stuart Harper 9100 says, "Hey bro, it's been a long time. Let's just say I've been away where I didn't want to be, but hopefully I'll be around for good now. Laugh out loud. How you been, bro? What's been happening?" Oh man, I'm just chilling, Stuart. I'm gonna take your comment to mean you may have been in the big house. You all good? You survive? You get through that shit? You doing all right? I hope you're all right, man. Welcome back. You have been missed. No, Soul Price was never running a Patreon for me. No, if he set one up, it was not. It was not a thing. I had a Patreon I set up that I never did anything with like a billion years ago. I think it's still technically oddly connected potentially to my channel even too, but I just never did anything with it really. Never really figured out that Patreon thing. Yeah, Soul Price was doing the Discord. Yeah. Ivan says Pink, Death Bubba, and MKU. Okay, yeah, that sounds about right, buddy. It technically exists. I love that. Chef Doom is like, his Patreon technically exists. Does he remember how to log into it? We don't know. um, James Mercer, what is your preferred way to make hash? So I like doing what I call my New Age Temple ball. So I start with bubble, but I don't use all the bags. I just use the mixing bag, the first highest bag, then the lowest bag. I take what's in the lowest bag, I dry that out, and then I kind of finish it with a Frenchy cannoli hand roll until I get a nice sort of temple ball looking kind of thing. And that is my preferred way of making hash. And the real magical thing to hash isn't just making it, it's then letting it age. No, I agree, Roman. I mean, it's definitely more work doing the bags and doing the way I. But it's like, yeah, if I'm gonna put the work in and stuff like that, like you know what I mean, like. I'm gonna make it that way just because I find it tastes the best, it smells the best. I've been on a mission my whole damn life to try to recreate sort of the hashish that I remember from childhood, right? And that's sort of how that one worked out and was really nice. Oh shit, bro. I mean, Stuart, if I may ask, were you in the big house for 5 years, bro? Man, I got some stories for you. You've been gone a long time, dude. So Potsquatch, Daddy betrayed me, got me arrested, beat to the shit by the cops, had a big legal battle on my hands. I had a zombie dick thing where I lost 65% of my scrotum and major sections of my dick. Had to rebuild my dick with multiple surgeries, bro. Man, there's been some shit going down when you've been in the big house, man. I tell you. James Mercer says, "Are those bubble hash machines worth it?" James Mercer, they're not too bad. I mean, they definitely make your life a little bit easier. I mean, are they great? No, but like they definitely make your life a little bit easier. There's certain sort of augmentations to that machine I would basically make would be probably the first one would be replacing the hose and putting a better hose onto it. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Stuart, it's been a thing. I had to sell the last house. If you've been gone for 5 years, do you remember the second house we bought, Stuart? No, Roman, I agree with you, man. I'm definitely hi Sarah. Um that's just in response to Ivan's thing of 11:11, which is a sort of a time when he sees it, he looks at the clock, and that means his wife is there. But yeah, no, I agree, Roman. I mean, if you're gonna do it, like they're great. Set it, forget it, dump it, keep running. I mean, it's still a lot of work, but it definitely makes it a little bit easier. I used to use like a drill with a spoon in it, or egg beaters. That was yeah. I miss that's the thing. Yeah, you and your wife. Yeah. So, Stuart, so if you remember the second house, which is the one we bought in Hope, okay, that only lasted about a year. I ended up finding out that basically, like before we even bought it or when we bought it, she was already talking to a realtor to sell the house. So, from who knows, but from what little I can tell, she was setting me up to sell me down the river for a hot minute. It's okay. I wish her the best, and I'll always love her deep down in some weird way. I got a lot of unanswered questions. I got a lot of weird mixed emotions, but I wish her well. I hope she's well. Last I heard, she's in Prince Edward Island now. Jeff Newman basically Squatch became free from tyranny. I don't know about that. I definitely was set free from an unhealthy dynamic, but who call it what you will. I don't know, man. So Roman, I don't really know. Like the only reports I have are just people who run into her and then they tell me, and I'm like, oh, okay. I hope she's well. I got a feeling that she's not very happy. I've got a feeling she hasn't been happy for a really long time. Because everyone who ran into her after shit hit the fan between she and I, and she got me arrested and beat to shit by the cops, um, was like she was a different person. Like she was just sort of this angry, weird, different thing. Um, so I don't know, man. Like I wish the best for her. I think she changed in the end though. Like I miss the old Dottie. I miss the happy musician who was this creative, weird, interesting thing, doing Eminem covers and funny uke songs and like would often take on house renovation projects she really wasn't capable of doing, so I would end up finishing them most of the time. And like, but I feel like that part of her is probably still there somewhere, but I don't think that's the part that's in control anymore. But who knows? Hopefully she's well. Um, you know, I couldn't really speak to anything other than that though. I miss doing the Christmas shows with her. That was a lot of fun. You know, I'll miss the good parts. I definitely miss the good parts for sure. Smoke it up, JC Smith. No, totally, Roman. I mean, it's like, I wasn't perfect by any means, and like I think I wasn't happy, but my unhappiness didn't really have to do with her. I think it had to do with a lot of other stuff, right? But she had been working in film for the last 2 or 3 years of our relationship, so she was almost never there. So I got a little lonely. Things were weird for me. And yeah, I definitely was drinking too much back then, or at least, well, definitely too much, but I was drinking for the wrong reasons too at times and stuff. And like, but I never, up until the day, well, even after the day she got me arrested, I never stopped loving her, man. I still to this day want the best for her. I think about her often, every day. You know, I got the dogs though. I got sole custody of the dogs. There's little Betty. Yeah, there's little Muggy over there. Say hi, Muggy. Yes. I got sole custody of the babies. One second here, everybody. I'm just reading. Catherine Bell 024. Did she switch her birth control? That can completely change a woman. No, we didn't use birth control. To my knowledge, anyway. No. Honestly, I think like we all do, we all struggle with some form of mental health stuff. I think she struggled with a lot of stuff. I struggled with drinking for the wrong reasons. I struggled with anxiety and depression and a lot of, past trauma that I'm still trying to work out from both life and trauma, my first wife and other abusive relationships that I had before Dottie, and I'm still working through a lot of that. I still got to go fly to Germany and deal with my dead wife's estate and go deal with her family and shit because I'm still legally married to that woman. So that's a whole thing. I was going to deal with that at the beginning of COVID, but then COVID happened, so I couldn't, fly over there. But it was like a light switch, at least to my perception of it. Like from what I learned after the fact, honestly, I feel like she was planning it for a really long time. And according to my research, that's a thing for most women that are planning to leave, I guess. But, for me, it felt like a light switch. It basically felt like I went from being the man she loved that she asked to marry her to the devil pretty fucking quick. And I'm still haunted by that to this day. I will own that. That definitely fucked me up. It still fucks me up. I still think about it every day. But it is what it is, right? I mean, I will say that type of trauma and that type of loss, my friends, whether you're a man, a woman, doesn't matter. This is a genderless thing. When you go through that type of experience, that kind of trauma never fully heals. It never totally goes away. But it does get easier. It does evolve. Part of healing, part of growth, part of moving forward or trying to, is some days you'll have great days and it's like, it doesn't feel like that big of a burden or that much weight on you. And then boom, one little thing can remind you of something, or one little thing happens, or or it just happens without even a thing happening, thing, right? But, and then boom, you're right back there, right? I mean, I still get nightmares occasionally. I occasionally get like weird dreams too, where we are at least able to talk a bit, right? Like that, I think the hardest thing for me, other than like the trauma of like seeing this completely different person and seeing them turn against me that way, was like, I never really got to say my piece. I don't feel like I got to say my part. I never got to participate in that. Decisions were made for me, not including me. And that was one of the hardest things, I think, too. Yeah, dude. Big AMG gaslighting is a thing. I'm not gonna say it's like a gender thing. I'm gonna say people in general do that. But yeah, I definitely got gaslit. I think there was a lot of projection on there, a lot of weird other things, terms that I've just recently learned definitions for, because like, when you're healing, you're trying to learn, you're trying to figure out shit, and then you learn about all this new stuff. I mean, funnily enough, though, I also think that people use the term gaslighting too quickly now too, and I think the I think a lot of people just sort of jump on this bandwagon of, it's like almost like hip now to just like blame people rather than looking in the mirror and having accountability. I think honestly, other than a lot of shit, one of the biggest things for her, from my perspective, and maybe I'm biased for sure, was that she didn't have a lot of accountability, right? Like she didn't really look in the mirror where I was self-reflecting at all times on things and or trying to. So but it doesn't matter, man. Like honestly, I wish her the best. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll run into her and we can be homies again and just, because I don't have any ill will towards her. It'd be nice if she could come see the dogs. I don't know if they want to see her, to be fair, but maybe they do. I don't know. But fuck, man, it'd be cool. Like if she still plays the ukulele, it'd be cool to have her come on the show and play Pot 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 again if she remembers how to play it. That was a dope song. I loved Pot Pot Pot. That was a good one for show. Catherine. Well, this is awkward. Why is it awkward? There's nothing awkward at all, Catherine Bell. We were just having conversations. You know what I mean? Like, it's not awkward at all, dude. It's not awkward at all. It's a thing. I think, you know what? I think it's totally okay for people to be real and talk about the shit they go through. I think if we as a society normalized talking about the hard shit a bit more, I think we'd have a lot less suicide. I think we'd have a lot less breakups. I think we'd have a lot of healthier relationships. I think people cut and run in general these days rather than doing the hard work of working on shit and being honest with each other and communicating. I think so I don't think it's awkward at all, man. I think it's good. I think it's good. No. I mean, big AMG. I'm fixing myself, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm just fixing myself. That's what I'm focusing on. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and also, Catherine, like, notice, like, because I can't speak to what people are saying in the audience. That's their thing. People are just speaking out their own brokenness. And I genuinely think it's not a gender based thing, really. I genuinely think that there's shitty people in both genders. I think a lot of us have been fucked over by someone, and it's like, yeah, it is what it is, right? Like, you know what? Like, I'll put it to you this way. I think this is a healthy way to look at it. Like my pain and my trauma is for me to deal with. It has nothing to do with my ex. I hope that what I went through with all of that somehow helped her. If it did, that's at least a positive. You know what I'm saying? And I hope she's growing and being good and doing all right. I love me. I'm my own love. I got my dogs too. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of good people, a lot of really good friends around me and shit. And I'm just focusing on life, man. I'm hopeful, hopeful that this film that I've been waiting like 3 years to shoot actually goes ahead so we can shoot that. And hopefully February, March, it's looking like. I'm hoping that, you know, it stays nice and cool for a long time this winter so I can get a few runs going. That'd be sick. I'm hoping to eventually get my debt paid off so I can save up some scratch so I can actually, because I make enough money at my job to buy a basic place somewhere. Maybe not a house in Vancouver, obviously, because they're like majillion dollars, but there's other options that are out there for sure. I don't really want to live in a condo, but like a float house might be an option, for example, just so I can have a bit more space to have sort of an office recording studio again, an editing suite, and then also a grow room, which would be sick. And like, that'd be a lot of fun. I'd love to have a room again to grow a bunch of plants for everybody again. That'd be super awesome. I'd be super into that. But it's about bettering yourself. I think also too, a lot of people, I think a lot of us aren't ready actually for relationships. And we go get ourselves into a relationship before we're ready for the relationship. And then we expect the relationship to somehow make things better. But like the things that are issues aren't issues that the relationship caused. So if you haven't dealt with those issues before getting into said relationship, the relationship's not going to fix anything. It'll temporarily maybe make you feel better. It'll temporarily maybe do things. But unless you can deal with your own traumas and your own hurts and pains and things that you've worked hard to receive in a sense from your life or your experience, unless you do the hard work of figuring them out, learning from them and growing from them, fuck, what's the point getting into a relationship then? Like, you're just going to shit the bed and have it blow up in your face again. No. I got all that back, Roman. I got all the seeds back. The vault has come home. I got all my grow equipment. I got all that shit. Pretty much anything I ever touched, I got out of the divorce. So, well, technically it was a separation, but yeah, James, it sucked. The world went fucky, James. Honestly, big AMG 515. I think that's the number one thing I've wanted. Honestly, would just be to have at least one more conversation about shit. Honestly, and if she was strong enough to own up to what she did and to say she's sorry, that would mean the world to me. But what I've also had to come to realize through a lot of work and self growth and reflection is that I'm probably never going to get that. Right? Like, I will probably always be the devil and this piece of shit in her mind because it fits her narrative. It fits her narrative to blame me than rather than have accountability for her shit. Right? So, and I think that happens to a lot of us. Right? And again, it's regardless of gender. I think sadly that happens to a lot of us, and we'd all love to get that apology, but we have to accept that we probably won't. And that's how we need to find a way to maybe not be okay with that, but live with that, I think would be the best way to put that. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, everybody. I'm just like, you got 55 kittens now, sold price? Damn. That's crazy, bro. Sorry, everybody. I'm just reading now. Wonder if Christine's still there or if she just like fucked off because she got weirded out. I don't know. Christine, if you're still there, say hi. We were trying to make you feel uncomfortable. I don't know about wise words, Jeff Newman, but they're definitely the words of an aging man who's been broken in a lot of ways and still trying to move on and carry on and see what's going on. You know what I mean? So big AMG, we're going to be getting a grow going really soon. I've been meaning to pop the beans or get them soaking in the last few days on my last days off, but then I had to go over to Calgary to buy a car, drive back, do all these kinds of things. But I'm gearing up to it. So also doing tonight's show is a big step towards that. Doing tonight's show, saying hi to everybody again. That's a big step towards doing it, I think. You know what I mean? And sort of, the hardest thing to do when you have a huge break from YouTube or being online or streaming or doing things is, making that break the ice again, and I think that's one of the main things, really. But we're going to get that Gorilla Blue going. Going to get that Gorilla Blue going. Oh no, Roman Reckless. Our thing was legally done a long time ago. We weren't legally married. We were common law and engaged. So that would have been settled probably now 2-3 years ago. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We sold the house and I've got sole custody. I've got all my shit. She's got her shit. She's off God knows where. I'm still here in Van City. Back where it all began in the apartment. But no. So it wouldn't be a call to divorce just because we were common law. We were engaged to be married. And then that never happened. So, but yeah, so it was, I'll put it to you this way. It's legally almost identical. It's like 95 to 98% the same. And it's just as expensive and just as traumatizing. In terms of the divorce to my other wife, well, she's dead. So my first wife's dead. So it's a whole different thing with dealing with that one. That one, I have to get the marriage certificate from the Canadian government because the marriage certificate is currently held by her parents in Germany. So I have to pay to get a new version of that from the Canadian government. Then I'd have to fly to Germany, prove I'm married to a German citizen, exercise my rights as her husband because I actually am considered the next of kin under German law. I supersede and overrule her family. So then I can get the death certificate. I can also declare any files at the police and all of this. I can also take possession of the rights of her books and all of this. And it's going to be a thing, though. Her family doesn't like me. I don't like them. Because even when we were separated, my first wife had a really rough childhood. I found out after we separated that her father had raped her repeatedly her entire childhood, and the mother was even more insane than I thought. And there was all this weird shit going on. So they tried to lock her away when she was trying to come after them legally, and they tried to lock her in an institution. I got a call from her via the institution, and since I am legally her husband, I am able to overturn the family rights. And so got her out. That was a couple years before she passed away. I'm told she killed herself. I don't believe she did. I think something else happened. So I got to go to Germany and deal with all that. That's one of those things. That's one of the past chapters that hasn't had full closure from Uncle Potsquatch's life. This is years before Uncle Potsquatch became the Potsquatch. I was a weed guy, weed grower then too, but I got to go deal with them. But I'll get around it one of these days. So Roman Reckless says, so my outdoor crop this year, someone couldn't keep their damn hands to themselves. Fucking climbed on my fence and reached over, got like a third or more of one of the plants. Dumbass. Oh, fuck, man. I'm sorry, Roman. That's stupid. I hate when people do that kind of shit, man. It's like, you know what? Like, don't steal people's weed. Don't fuck with people's grows. Like, that's their fucking plant medicine. Like, leave their shit alone. If you want dope, grow your own. Dude, that's awesome, Roman. Did you report it to the police, or do they not do anything where you live for stuff like that? Soul price like get an electric fence. I mean, to be fair, I remember years ago when we were talking about, and this is back when we had the first house, me and the ex, and we were like talking about starting a pot farm. I loved sort of toying with the idea of having weaponized drones. And this is when drone technology was much earlier on than it is now. And I was going to weaponize them, but not with actual like harmful weapons that would hurt you. These drones would shoot darts of acid, and I would like dose you on 6 shots of acid, and then you'd be on my property tripping balls. And then I would like psychologically scar you with like animatronics and smoke machines and lasers and like ghosts and haunted shit. Teach you a lesson to fuck with my property, you know? Obviously, would I ever do that? Probably not. Unless I was an eccentric millionaire, maybe. I don't know. But it was a fun thought, though. But, like there's a lot of tricks back in the day. People put razor blades on the fence or do this or do that to try to deter people. And I mean, I applaud the will and the creativity, but I mean, I genuinely don't really want to cause harm to anybody, even if they're a dickhead who's trying to steal my shit, if you know what I'm saying, right? Like, yeah, exactly. I have an LSD drone. Hey, Sir Chugalug, Sir Chugs a lot. Thank you for the text message. Just sent me a text. He's like, thank you for the live. I got to go to bed. Thank you for tuning in, buddy. I mean, I probably don't have tons left in me either, buddy. So I got to get up for work in the morning. But thank you for coming to the show, buddy. Yeah, see, that's kind of my thought on it too, Roman, is, to my understanding of the law, that would get you in more trouble than they would get into even stealing from you. So don't do that. Yeah. So, everybody, don't booby trap things. Don't cause harm to other human beings. Really, at the end of the day, if you want to safer grow your weed titties inside. I mean, indoors better anyway, in my humble 2 cents. Yes, there's a lot of squatches out there that'll argue that till they go blue in the face, and then that's why I love them. Gazzers is one of them. And I mean, yeah, I get it. Outside is free. It costs no money or very little money, right? But when you grow outside, you also run the larger risk of having people pinch it, screw with it, fuck with it, etc., etc., etc. too, right? So there's pros and cons to everything, I guess you could say. Pros and cons to everything. Ugh. Well, seems like Catherine left the show. I hope she's all right. Sorry if we bothered you, Catherine. That was never our intent. I think a lot of times when people like gang stuff, though, usually they're young kids or idiots. They're fiends, they're addicts, right? So like they're not even really in their right mind anyway. Because genuine, true addiction, in my humble 2 cents, is in fact straight up like a mental health issue, right? So, you know, yeah. Who knows what time it is? It's live stream during live stream, everybody. No, I know. And also, nothing I said would have fallen into that. I think it's just, I think maybe for a young woman here reading some of the comments of some of the people could come off the wrong way. But again, I think that's where we all got to like learn to like other people's experiences or venting about their trauma isn't necessarily a personal attack on us or any of us. It's just them speaking to their experience. And sadly, it is a very common one that has happened more than once or twice, right? So I wonder who that Catherine was, though. I'm like, has she been on the show before? Or was she just some poor random lady stumbling into the Potsquatch live stream? Like, ooh, what's this random thing? Man, could you imagine? That's kind of funny, too. Yeah, everybody say sorry to Catherine. Catherine, we apologize if we upset you or hurt your feelings. It was not our intent. We were talking about something that a lot of people in the audience happen to have penises and happen to have bad experiences with exes. It happens. Whoop. There we go. Oh, but it's been good. It's good to chat with all of you all again. And like I said, we're going to be getting some grows going again, too. I fucking need to buy new newts for sure. No, and I feel you, big AMG 515, but also let's acknowledge that there's also a lot of piece of shit men out there. Like, I'll tell you about my friend's friend. Well, I guess I'm friends with her too. Her name's Erica, and she's got a piece of shit ex, and he is a fucking twat. I mean, he's a dick, and he's just torturing her, and now he's like trying to like. He's like, well, I'm not going to give you child support anymore. I'm like, dude, legally, your daughter's 10. It's not you giving money to your ex. It's giving money for your fucking daughter, you piece of shit, right? So there's a lot of shitty men out there, too. Let's all just agree there's shitty dudes, shitty women's, shitty theys and thems, shitty people in general, okay? There's people who aren't pieces of shit. Doesn't mean they're perfect, but they aren't pieces of shit. And then they're just straight up fucking twat fucks who are horrible to people. And that's just the truth. What's up, the Cosmic Thrust? Hell yeah, Betty Landry, my alter ego. She drives a pink Cadillac. I drive a black Cadillac. But yeah, no, it was we were just talking about stuff, and we were talking about trauma. We were talking about exes. We were talking about stuff. And then a lady popped into the show who I didn't recognize her name, but maybe she'd been around before. I mean, it's been a hot minute since I've done it. Yeah, some of the people watching the show maybe made some borderline, seemingly at least misogynistic comments, but really more so, I think a lot of it was just sort of them talking from their own trauma. She stumbled into a chat with mostly men who've been through crap and stuff, and so she maybe felt awkward, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, we're trying to acknowledge that was never the intent of anyone here. We were just talking. And we're sorry, Catherine, if you got upset. The funny thing is, Roman Reckless, I don't even think I have access to that where I live. Like, I'm in the city now, and I just don't have the space or the time, dude. I'm going back to Green Planet, dude. I'm gonna order myself one of those little Green Planet starter kits, and that's where I'm gonna start again. If Green Planet was smart, they'd send me a free 1 liter pack of all the shit. I'll plug them because good shit. That's what I'm gonna spend my money on anyway. I don't mind plugging a product if I think it works and if it's something I actually use, right? So, but yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do for the first number of runs, and that's probably what I'll always do here in the apartment for the most part. I mean, maybe if I have a property and lots of rooms one day, which is what I'm working towards, have my little acreage, then yeah, we'll do all those types of things again. I'm going to be doing like a bunch of super soils again too. I love that, like my augmented version of Subcool's super soil and stuff, right? So, but you know, we'll get there. Ivan says I'm gonna sleep. Yeah, I'm gonna be ending the show shortly too, Ivan. Don't worry. I gotta go to sleep too because I gotta be up in the morning. Oh, everybody, this is funny. Sold price $54.28. When's the fucking auto grow? You've promised like for years now ago. At least just one. Yeah. Okay. It's not going to be the primary grow. I'll never do an auto run as my primary grow because I don't trust autos. But we can run an auto grow alongside things in another space. We're getting the Gorilla Blue as the next plant's going, but maybe once I get those seedlings started, we can just do a fun little run. We'll call it Auto in a Washroom. Big AMG 515. We're gonna run the Gorilla Blue strain that we ran a bunch of times back in the hood days. Good night, Soul Prize. Yes, I do still have the occasional dart. Mostly vape, but I still have a few darts here or there. But, yeah, you know, we're going to get that Gorilla Blue. I'll get those beans soaking soon. You know what I'm saying? The Cosmic Thrust. Damn, I'm always just joining the end of these streams. You should do some bubble hash with a mini washer in the washing room, too. I mean, yeah, I've got a mini washer and stuff. But anytime I make a video on making hash, though, I get fucking in trouble with YouTube. YouTube gives us a strike and shit. So that's why I've never really done like a lot of videos on like making rosin or a lot of videos on making hash, because I always get in trouble when I do them for some weird reason. Hell, we even got a strike once for unboxing our company's rolling papers. And I'm like, we're a legitimate company in Canada. We're a registered corporation. We launched a rolling paper brand. Like, we're not doing anything illegal. I'm literally just showing boxes of papers, and somehow we got a strike for that. Like, to this day, I think that one bugs me the most. That, like, the other strikes, I kind of get, right? Like, I can justify them in my head. I can go, okay, well, this was a this or this was a that, so, you know, that's why they got pissed about it. But to this day, the rolling paper one pisses me off. I'm like, how the fuck did we get in trouble for rolling papers? What? Doesn't make any sense, especially when, one, it's legal in my country, two, we are a legitimate company, three, our papers are legal. They're even registered. They can be sold internationally. They're in the international barcoding system, blah blah blah, and all that shit. Susan is gone, but I still get in trouble, man. Susan, the soul of Susan lives on through the YouTube algorithm, man. Maybe one day. Well, that's because Raw has money to pay for their commercials. If you pay for your commercial, I could put my commercials for shit. If I had money, I could put commercials for Potsquatch shit on other people's shit all the time. I could pay for that. As long as you're paying, they don't care. But maybe it was because I was like, oh, well, Potsquatch, you're not allowed to advertise your own shit on your channel. No, we're going to give you a strike with that. You didn't give us any money. I don't know, Big AMG. I'm not going to claim to understand how any of that shit works. All I can say is it's silly. That's what I'm going to go with. It's absolutely silly. But my friends, my family, it's been an hour. I know normally we go longer for that, but I got work in the morning. And I definitely did not plan or intend on doing this show. So, hitting an hour, boom, we did it. We're going to get some beans going for you in the next couple of days. Maybe I'll get those popped and I'll release a video tomorrow when I get home from work. There's no baseball game tomorrow, so I can come right home. So, yeah, fuck it. We'll do that, okay? We'll get the beans soaking tomorrow. It'll just be a short little video, okay? But those will be the beans that we're popping. We're going to pop a whole bunch of them so we can try to find a nice male and a female too that we can lock in a 2x2 tent, hopefully at our friend Sean's house in the building, and make some beans for everybody so we can throw those beans on the store for everybody. It's been a while since I've done this, but thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, all that shit. Check out the Potsquatch Growers community on Facebook. The group has been kind of quiet, but I'm going to start participating more. We're also on Instagram, Potsquatch Growers, so check that out. But the most important thing is, remember, the true grower is a forever student. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. Love yourselves, love your plants, and word to your mother. And remember, anyone out there telling you there's only one way to do something is a fucking jackass and not a grower, but a Xerox machine and full of shit. All right, we'll see you next time. Keep it sexy. Uncle Potsquatch loves you. And I'm not dead! Peace, motherfuckers.